My wife left our family business for a high-paying job, but I caught her cheating on her work trips. So, I divorced her, kept the business, and our kids disowned her. Now, she is begging to come back, claiming it was just a small hiccup in our relationship. My ex-wife, 52F, and I, 53M, had been married for 26 years. I'll call my ex Joanne, just for story's sake. Anyways, beyond those 26 years, Joe and I have known each other since we were 17. We went to high school together. Well, I went to a high school on the opposite part of town, and she went to the Catholic high school. All we've known is each other. Right out of high school, we decided to travel for a bit and experience a bit of what life had to offer because we knew that we wanted to start a family and travel might be sort of out of the picture or at least look different after we had kids. Not only that, but I had come into some money after my grandfather passed away and he had passed down some land to my father who had then gifted us about a quarter section of land. When we came back, we built our own place on the land that had been passed down to me, got married, and Joe quickly got pregnant with the first of our 4 boys. My family comes from a long line of farmers. It's what we do best. I had always known that it was something that I was going to end up doing, but it never bothered me. I didn't feel forced into it by any means. It was something that I was interested in and I took pride in. I had helped both my grandfather and father on the family farm since I was just a small boy. It was in my blood. Joanne came from a big blue-collar family. Her father was the best heavy-duty mechanic in the county and had spent a lot of time at our farm fixing our equipment. That's actually how we met. She tagged along with her father one day when a piece of equipment had broken down. We caught each other's eye and the rest was history, as they say. Even though her father was who he was, she had never actually gotten her hands dirty until we built our house on the farm. I don't want to toot my own horn, but at the time, my family was one of the largest dairy producers in the north. And because of that, my family's name was well known and well respected. I remember talking to Joanne and telling her that there wouldn't be much outside of the farm for me, I'd likely be working on it until the day I die, but she claimed she was okay with that. She told me that this was the life she wanted and that she wanted to be with me and anything outside of that wasn't a life she wanted to be a part of. And so she helped me operate the farm up until about 4 years ago. By then our boys had long been grown men starting their own families and were also helping out on the farm. Around that time she took up a job with a company similar to Avon, a door-to-door cosmetics marketing scheme of sorts. A friend of hers from out of town had talked her into it. She said she would do really well in something like that because she was so hot and charismatic and was well known in the area as she had joined a bunch of councils and boards. These apparently were her friend's words, hot and charismatic. I encouraged her to take the leap and said that she'd do well no matter what she did. After her friend said that, Joe kept asking me if I thought she was pretty and if she was good looking. This really felt like it came out of nowhere to me. Joe had never been the kind of woman to doubt herself. And honestly, Joe was one of the most beautiful women I had ever laid eyes on. I told her she was beautiful and I tried to make a habit of saying that to her every day after that. It had gotten me thinking that maybe I hadn't been saying enough prior to that. It was shortly after that when I noticed Joe's enthusiasm about the farm started to slip away. She just wasn't interested in it and didn't really ask me about my day anymore or went out of her way to do small chores around the farm. Not that I expected that of her, but it was just usually what she had done. We ended up talking and she said that she didn't want me to be mad at her for taking on a new job and I told her that I had more than enough help and that she should do what makes her happy. I would never be mad at her for doing something that made her happy. She ended up taking the job and actually doing quite well. With this certain company, once you sell a certain amount of products, the company actually buys you a vehicle. Not just any vehicle, but one of those fancy shiny German vehicles. She ended up becoming regional manager and the company compensated her and her hard work with a free car. I was really proud of her, but as soon as she got the car, I noticed her personality change a bit. She drove around town like her shit didn't stink and I had to hear about it from the husbands who had heard it from their wives. At first I just thought it was jealousy. I mean, it's not unheard of in a small town. People don't really like change all that much or like people flaunting their cash. My wife had always been so modest. She had dressed well, but she didn't dress above her means. She was always a t-shirt and jeans kind of gal. And my wife, in the whole time that I've known her, had never gotten her nails done. But after that car, she started getting her nails done and she was buying all these high fashion clothes that she'd drive into the city to get.